Well, thank you so much for that very kind introduction, Jamie. And I would like to congratulate you and all of Walmart Canada for yesterday's amazing announcement, which you described so well, of your new fulfillment centre in Rocky View County. It's always great to see global companies like Walmart choosing to invest here and create jobs and opportunities and make our community stronger. I'm so pleased to hear that you see a very long and prosperous future with us working together. And thanks to Deb Yedlin for the great leadership that you have shown at the Chamber. We had a wonderful roundtable discussion this morning. We've got another roundtable discussion that is going to happen later on this afternoon, and so I'm looking forward to getting feedback. I also know every time I address a Calgary room that only 48% of you likely voted for me, so I'll try not to be very partisan in what I'm putting forward today and just talk about the opportunity and the shared values that we have and the shared goal that we have of making Calgary one of the absolute best places in the country to live and work and raise a family. And of course, just want to thank the Calgary Chamber for inviting me to join you today, because I always appreciate the opportunity for a discussion on growing our economy that comes from an understanding that private enterprise fuels that growth. And that's one of the main reasons why I respect the Chamber's contributions to Calgary's business community. So I want to jump straight to the concern that is at the front of mind for many people here, and that is, what does the recent election mean for Calgary? And for the answer, you only have to look at the cabinet table and the message that it sends. The government has a fantastic team of people across the board. There's several of the ministers that Deb introduced earlier. Let me tell you what you have in Calgary. We have 9 ministers representing Calgary. We have our Deputy Premier and Minister of Public Safety and Emergency Services, that's Mike Ellis. With us today, we have Matt Jones. He's Minister of Jobs, Economy and Trade. We have Mickey Amory, who is our Minister of Justice, Rebecca Schultz, our Minister of Environment and Protected Areas, Rick McIver, Minister of Municipal Affairs, he's here today as well. Mohammed Yassin is Minister of Immigration and Multiculturalism, Dimitrios Nicolaides, Minister of Education, and Rajan Sani, Minister of Advanced Education, as well as Tanya Furr, who's Minister of Arts, Culture and Status of Women. And of course, Nathan Neudorf is here today as well, who's Utilities and Affordability, and Nate Horner, who had a major announcement today on our annual report. He's our Minister of Finance and Treasury Board, and I'll speak to that in a few minutes. So Calgary is strongly represented at the cabinet table because this city's interests are front and center in our government's plans, as is our dedication to pro-growth, low-tax, free market policies that continue to ensure that Calgary is a magnet for investment from around the world. And we're seeing that investment in more areas than ever before. We already mentioned, of course, Walmart Canada's grand opening yesterday in Rocky View County, but you do know as well about de Havilland's investment in Wheatland County, and WestJet is making Calgary its hub for travel. Venture capital investment is pouring into the city as our tech and innovation sector continues to grow, and I understand Calgary itself recently cracked the top 100 in Startup Genome's Global Startup System report. Calgary-based companies are growing, and major international companies are choosing to expand right here. People are moving here in record numbers, all while the city continues to be one of the most powerful drivers of Canada's economy. And my promise to you is that over the next 4 years, we will do everything we can to build on Calgary's strengths. And you'll see this where some of the support will be when we announce our ministers' mandates. That'll be coming up in the coming weeks. But there are infrastructure improvements that we've already been clear on. First of all, of course, we've signed a memorandum of understanding with the city and the Calgary Exhibition and Stampede and the Calgary Sports and Entertainment Group to contribute up to $300 million, mostly over the next 3 years, to revitalize the Rivers District. Of course, they'll be building an arena in there too, but the things that we're going to be investing in are the major infrastructure costs that go in to cover the cost of roads and bridges, LRT connections, and other infrastructure work, such as a 6th Street South East underpass and upgrades to 15th, 17th, and 25th Avenues South and East, plus also community gathering areas. I had a chance recently to go to Toronto. I was just telling my table, and I thought, well, why don't I go the slow way? I took the Edmonton to Toronto via rail line, the Canadian, and I got it to stop in Winnipeg. And if you haven't been there, it's just such a wonderful walk-around community in the Forks district, which had the stadium for baseball as the anchor to be able to build that community out. When I walk around that, or when I walk around Rogers Place, or when I have gone down to watch a Golden Knights game, that's what I'm really hoping the vision for this area is going to be, with a lot of community gathering places, lots of places for outdoor patios and restaurants and retail, new residential, new hotels. I am so excited about it. But as part of the agreement as well, we'll partner with the city to build a 1,000-seat community arena for kids hockey right next to the new arena and sports centre. And these critical infrastructure improvements will not only rejuvenate downtown and some of Calgary's most visible landmarks, but also create jobs, lead to billions of dollars in economic activity, and contribute to the fabric and spirit of the city. And that's been our overriding goal from the start, growing our economy so there are more jobs for Albertans. And that's why we also reduce taxes and cut red tape, and let the rest of the world know that Alberta is calling for people who want the opportunity that a strong Alberta economy brings. And to that, between January and March, almost 16,000 Canadians chose to make Alberta their home. It's our 7th straight quarter of net interprovincial growth. They were joined by almost 36,000 people who moved here from around the world. We are on track for the fastest population growth since 1914, according to economist Trevor Tombe. The best and brightest are choosing Alberta. Businesses from all over the world are choosing Alberta. Families, job creators, entrepreneurs, employers, and business owners know that low taxes, good jobs, a skilled workforce, and high wages matter. And that economic diversification we've been talking about for decades is actually happening. This morning, you may have seen our year-end fiscal update. We committed to moving the economy forward, and we're reaping the benefits. We ended the fiscal year with an $11.6 billion surplus, which exceeded the budget 2022 projection by $11.1 billion. In 2022-23, Alberta paid down $13.3 billion in debt, which eliminated $260 million in annual debt servicing charges. That's money that will stay in our province and be available for us to be able to support programs. And because we invested further in the Heritage Savings Trust Fund and kept investment income within the fund, its market value grew by $2.5 billion to help secure the province's future. Lower debt servicing costs and higher revenues are going to help support high-quality health care and education and job training, infrastructure investments, and assistance for our vulnerable Albertans who most need it. And let's talk about higher revenues for just a minute. The high price of oil played a strong role in ensuring we ended the fiscal year on solid footing, but it's not the whole story. In our first term, we reduced the corporate income tax from 12% to 8%. We did that to encourage investment and diversification, and it's working. We brought in a record $8.2 billion in corporate income tax revenue in 2022-2023, the highest amount in a single year. Well, I should be thanking all of you for all of that, so thank you. There are a number of different factors that come into play in corporate income tax revenue, but the baseline is this. Pro-growth, low-tax, free market policies are important. They matter. It is no accident that investors are choosing Alberta, and we will keep that welcome mat rolled out. Now, obviously, Alberta has a lot going for it, and our government is making the most of favourable conditions by creating the most business-friendly environment in Canada. That starts with our low-tax environment, continues with our focus on red tape reduction, so Alberta's job creators like you can do what you do best. And we want to ensure that you are able to succeed. We want to be able to continue to create jobs and build the economy. We're committed to ensuring that Alberta remains the economic engine of Canada, and Calgary is a critical part of that. We have a lot going for us, and I'm excited about the future of Calgary and the future of Alberta, and I'm excited to continue to partner with all of you to continue building a strong future for every Alberta family. A strong future that strong Calgary, building on our strengths and finding new opportunities to expand and to succeed. And I'm looking forward to continuing this conversation with Deb Yedlin here in just a few minutes. So thank you, and we'll continue the conversation in just a few minutes.